On our Viking Rhine River cruise from Basel to Amsterdam, we discovered something most first-timers don't realize until it's too late. This isn't just a smaller cruise. It's a completely different world. From unspoken rules to must-know packing tips, here's everything we learned the hard way, so you don't have to. We were in exactly the same position you are, experienced ocean cruisers who had never set foot on a river ship. After completing this exact itinerary, we're here to give you the honest survival guide we wish we'd had before embarking on what turned out to be one of our most memorable travel experiences. The truth is, river cruising isn't just a smaller version of ocean cruising. It's a completely different animal that requires different expectations, different packing strategies, and a different mindset altogether. But before you let that intimidate you, let us walk you through exactly what to expect, what worked brilliantly, what caught us off guard, and how to make the most of every single day on this incredible journey through the heart of Europe. Your survival on this cruise actually starts at the airport, and here's where Viking shows its first major advantage over traditional cruising. Unlike ocean cruises, where you're often on your own getting to the port, Viking includes transfers from the airport to the ship in their cruise fare. We landed at the airport around 9:30 a.m. and were quickly greeted by a Viking representative in a bright red coat. Within 30 minutes of collecting our luggage, we were on a comfortable bus heading to the ship with about 30 other excited first-timers. The bus journey gave us our first taste of what river cruising is all about: scenic views, comfortable transportation, and time to connect with fellow passengers who would become familiar faces over the next week. Unlike the rushed embarkation process of massive ocean ships, arriving at our Viking longship felt more like checking into an upscale boutique hotel where the staff actually expected you. This welcoming atmosphere immediately sets the tone for what makes river cruising so distinctly intimate, starting with the ship itself. Here's your first survival tip: embrace the intimacy. With only 190 guests aboard, this isn't anonymous cruising where you can disappear into crowds. You'll recognize faces by day 2, know people's names by day 3, and probably exchange contact information by week's end. For some travelers, this sounds like heaven. For others, it might feel overwhelming. The ship itself spans just 4 decks, and you can walk from bow to stern in less than 2 minutes. Deck 2 houses guest services, a small shop, and the staterooms. Deck 3 features a library with books and games, an internet cafe with 2 computers, and the main lounge where all your evening entertainment happens. The forward section of Deck 3 holds the Aqua Terrace, your outdoor dining option when weather permits. Deck 4 offers a full-length sun deck with plenty of seating, a walking track that requires 16 laps to equal 1 mile, and even a small putting green. While the ship's layout might seem compact compared to ocean vessels, it's the individual staterooms where you'll truly understand how different river cruising can be from your previous cruise experiences. Let's be brutally honest about the rooms, because this is where many first-timers get their biggest shock. Even the balcony staterooms clock in at just 205 square feet, while river view rooms measure around 150 square feet. If you're used to ocean cruise balconies, prepare for a dramatic downsizing. However, Viking has mastered space utilization in ways that larger ships haven't needed to consider. Your bathroom will surprise you with double shower doors that create more maneuvering space than you'd expect, plus heated floors controlled by a small knob that you'll discover and love by day 2. Each side of your bed offers a 110-volt outlet and a European plug. The mini fridge gets restocked daily with complimentary water bottles, and there's enough closet space for a week's worth of clothes if you pack strategically. Once you've settled into your cozy quarters, you'll quickly discover that the heart of river cruise life revolves around the dining experience, which operates very differently from what you might expect. River cruise dining operates on a completely different schedule and social structure than ocean cruising, so adjust your expectations accordingly. Breakfast runs from 7 a.m. with a hybrid buffet and menu system. Grab scrambled eggs and bacon from the buffet, but order pancakes and French toast from the menu. Lunch serves from noon to 2 p.m. sharp, and if you miss it, you're out of luck until dinner. The dining rooms feature mostly large tables designed for 6 to 8 people, with very few tables for 2. This community seating approach means you'll be making conversation with strangers every meal. For naturally social people, this creates wonderful connections. For introverts, this might feel exhausting. Our survival strategy: arrive early for meals to have more table selection, and don't be afraid to join a partially filled table where conversation is already flowing. The menu structure stays consistent, always available items like their signature salad and hamburgers, plus rotating regional specialties that showcase local flavors. The quality consistently impressed us. This isn't mass-produced cruise food, but thoughtfully prepared regional cuisine. One evening featured a German-themed buffet with authentic dishes and a parade of desserts that had everyone going back for seconds. Now here's where river cruising shines compared to ocean cruising. Every port includes a guided excursion in your cruise fare. This isn't a token offering, but substantial tours that would cost $50 to $100+ if booked independently. Our first stop in Brissac included a Black Forest excursion with options for hiking, cuckoo clock demonstrations, and Black Forest cake making. We chose the hike and made it back just in time for the cake demonstration, a perfect introduction to the flexibility these tours offer. Each excursion provides quiet box devices with earbuds that let you hear your guide clearly even in crowded areas. These prove surprisingly comfortable, so don't worry about bringing your own earbuds. The tours use luxury coaches for longer transfers, and guides consistently exceeded our expectations with their knowledge and enthusiasm. Here's a pro survival tip. Viking also offers optional excursions at additional cost, and some are absolutely worth the splurge. However, pace yourself. The included tours provide plenty of cultural immersion, and you don't need to do everything to have a fulfilling experience. The constant activity and shared experiences naturally lead to the unique social environment that defines river cruising. With only 190 passengers, the social dynamics feel more like a small town than an anonymous cruise ship. The main lounge becomes the evening gathering spot where port talks happen daily between 6:30 to 6:45 p.m. These talks aren't just logistics, but genuine cultural preparation for the next day's experiences. Our program director also hosted French lessons and surprisingly popular game shows that brought passengers together. The bar operates on a more personal scale too. Bartenders remember your preferred drinks by day 3 and often have them ready when you sit down. This level of personal service creates a comfort level that many find addictive, but it also means you can't completely disappear if you're having an off day. But if you remember nothing else from this survival guide, remember this: the Rhine Gorge Scenic Sailing will be your cruise highlight. This 40-mile stretch between Koblenz and Rudesheim unfolds like a fairy tale, with castles perched on hillsides and your program director sharing legends and history as you glide past. All you need to do is claim a comfortable spot on the sun deck, perhaps grab a coffee or cocktail, and let the scenery wash over you. No rushing to shore excursions, no crowds to navigate, just you, the river, and centuries of European history sliding past your window. This is what river cruising does better than any other form of travel, and it's worth the entire cruise fare just for this experience. The ship's hydraulic wheelhouse automatically lowers when approaching low bridges, creating dramatic moments that feel almost cinematic. Going through the lock system proved equally fascinating, like riding a water elevator that raises or lowers your ship to the next river level. River cruising depends heavily on weather cooperation, and you need backup plans for your backup plans. During our cruise, persistent rain kept outdoor dining areas closed and limited some walking tours. High water levels can force itinerary changes. We ended up docking in a different location for our final days, which actually led to discovering Napoleon's Chateau, a hidden gem with fewer crowds. Pack layers, waterproof jackets, and comfortable walking shoes that can handle wet conditions. The sun deck provides plenty of seating with shade and even blankets for chilly moments, but having your own light jacket or sweater makes all the difference in comfort. Each port offers different experiences, and knowing how to approach them maximizes your enjoyment. In Strasbourg, due to temporarily closed locks, we took buses to the city center where we explored Petite France and the magnificent cathedral. The key was staying flexible when logistics changed. Cologne offered the famous cathedral right next to the main train station, making independent exploration incredibly easy after the guided tour. We crossed the bridge to a viewing platform overlooking the city. Sometimes the best experiences happen when you venture beyond the scheduled itinerary. Kinderdijk's windmills provided our only rainy excursion, but learning about these engineering marvels and exploring inside a working windmill proved fascinating even in less than perfect weather. The windmill owner even wore traditional wooden shoes, adding authentic touches that made the experience memorable. Unlike ocean cruises, where sea days provide downtime, river cruising keeps you constantly engaged with new ports and scenic sailing. This creates wonderful cultural immersion but limited relaxation time. Plan accordingly by building in moments of rest rather than trying to do everything available. The small library provides a quiet retreat when social interaction feels overwhelming. The sun deck offers peaceful moments during scenic sailing when most passengers are inside. Even your compact stateroom can become a sanctuary if you embrace its coziness rather than fighting the space limitations. All meals are included, plus beer and wine at lunch and dinner. Specialty coffee, tea, soda, and bottled water are complimentary throughout the cruise. The Silver Spirits beverage package costs $25 per person per day, but with long days of shore excursions, most passengers rarely consume enough cocktails to justify this expense. The 24-hour coffee and tea station on Deck 3 became our lifeline, offering specialty beverages with syrups and skim milk for those twice-daily coffee needs. Continental breakfast items and cookies are available here throughout the day, providing light snacking options between meals. River cruising from Basel to Amsterdam offers cultural immersion that ocean cruising simply cannot match. You'll trade pools, casinos, and endless dining options for deeper destination experiences, scenic beauty that unfolds naturally outside your window, and personal service that makes you feel like a welcome guest rather than passenger number 1247. After experiencing just 190 passengers on this Viking longship, we found ourselves wondering how it would feel going back to a traditional ocean cruise. Well, that's exactly what we did when we boarded a 4,000-passenger ship just a few months later, and the differences were eye-opening. Click the video above and let's travel.